Hey guys, this is Connor with Conquest HP, and this is vlog number 2 detailing my meet prep process for my first ever powerlifting meet. Still just about 10 weeks out right now from that meet, but today I want to talk about what I'm doing nutrition-wise, calorie-wise, body weight-wise, where I'm coming from with those things and where I hope to take them, and maybe some practical takeaways for you. So I think tracking is really important, tracking your macros, the macronutrients, protein, fats, and carbs. If you track those things, you indirectly get your calorie balance, and you have numbers that you can tweak and alter on a daily or weekly or monthly basis, whatever your goals might be, to hit specific body weights or give you a certain amount of recovery in the tank, that kind of thing. There's an easy way to quantify your recovery or part of your recovery when you do that. So if you have performance goals or firm body weight goals, that's going to be a good way to go for a lot of people. It takes a little extra effort to track, but that amounts to, like, I don't know, if it amounted to 10 minutes a day of extra work, I'd be surprised. So for an extra 5 minutes a day, you can really control a variable that has a lot to do with your success and a lot of fitness goals. So here's how I do it. I just have this notebook from the dollar store. I like pen and paper tracking. I just got the date. I write down my body weight for that day. If I weighed, like, I don't weigh every day because, like, for example, Saturday I weighed in at 203. Today I weighed in at 201. Oh, I lost 2 pounds. No, there's, like, the weight fluctuations can happen from fluid balance changes and sodium changes and stuff like that. So daily tracking can kind of, or daily weighing can kind of drive you nuts that way. But I do it really simply: dollar store notebook, pen and paper, Google Calorie King nutrition data, that kind of stuff. If you want to look up nutrition values and the stuff you're eating, use labels obviously whenever they come with a food. But that's what I've been doing recently. Last year, the end of last January, I was scheduled to compete in a Muay Thai fight, which ended up falling through due to sanctioning a couple weeks before. But I was expected to compete at 165 pounds. And as you know from the first video, I weigh about 200 pounds right now, and I'm fairly lean. So just imagine like a skeleton or like a broomstick with hair and a beard. That's essentially what I looked like. But it's Muay Thai. You're getting hit. If you haven't ever competed in it, you might not understand it. But if you're fighting someone and you give them any size that you don't have to, any size advantage you don't have to, that's impact force that you are taking. Like, every kick has extra pounds behind it. Every time you get punched in the head has extra pounds behind it. So fighting someone that weighs 165 compared to someone that weighs, I think my first fight was at 180, makes a huge difference. It's a massive difference. So it's really important to kind of fight at the lowest weight class that you're comfortable with if you're fighting. I obviously don't have that concern anymore. So after that fight fell through, I kind of stopped tracking for a while. I still loosely tracked my protein intake because protein is extremely important for maintaining muscle mass and recovering from training. I was still training very hard, and I still cared about looking muscular and having muscles. So I never really stopped the protein tracking. But after that fight fell through, I stopped tracking the fats and carbs, and I decided I'm just going to kind of do free eating for a little while. Just try to monitor what I'm eating, kind of guess at the amounts, and see if I can maintain a comfortable body weight around 180 or 185, which is kind of like a comfortable settling point for me. So I did that for most of last year, and I was fairly lean for most of last year. It's definitely easier though for performance goals or to get really lean or to hit specific body weights if you're tracking while you do it. Like, it's just, you're able to quantify something that gives you an idea of your recovery and how much fuel you need to hit your specific goal. And if body weight's your goal, if you want to lose weight, if you want to lower body weight, you need less fuel. You need to provide your body with less fuel on a daily basis. So if you don't know what that number is, it's hard to change it. If you don't track it, it's tough to change it. So tracking is really useful that way, but it requires a little effort. And when you do it for competition, like the fights I was doing, it can be kind of exhausting. Like dieting down for a fight like that means pretty good dieting for 3 or 4 weeks, like pretty meticulous dieting for 3 or 4 weeks. And then at the end of that 3 or 4 weeks, you also do like, I don't know, depending how big you are, I was essentially like starving, just getting my protein requirements really. And then doing a water cut, which is also horrible, but it was really meticulous and it wasn't fun at all. So I wanted a break from that stuff. And because I was injured, as I detailed in the first video, I didn't have to weigh in anytime soon. So I thought I'd just enjoy my eating for a while, and there's nothing wrong with that. So that was most of last year. Then in October, November, when I decided I'd had enough of trying to fit martial arts into my injury history, I decided to move on to powerlifting. Then I decided, let's go up in weight. I was kind of artificially keeping my weight down by keeping my diet numbers a little bit lower, or keeping my portions a little bit smaller at that point. But in powerlifting, no one's going to hit me in the head. And my goal is to lift as much as I can. I still want to be athletic. I still want to be in good shape. So I'm not going to balloon myself up to 300 pounds. But I want to be able to lift more weight. So I'm going to give my body the fuel it needs to do so. So between October, November, and now, I've gone from about 185 pounds to 200 pounds, which is not a realistic rate of muscle gain for anyone. You should never really shoot for that, whatever that is. It's, 4 or 5 pounds a month, 3 to 5 pounds a month kind of thing of lean muscle gain, because I'm pretty lean right now. But that's not a realistic rate of gain for anyone that's ever trained. Even for a complete newbie, that's not a realistic rate of gain. I was able to do it because I was still keeping my body weight quite low and training really hard, like hours of intense calorie burning exercise a day. I went from that to just strength training and trying to gain weight by eating significantly more. So that's why I was able to do it. I already had a huge training base and huge strength base that I was drawing on, so it worked well for me. Just starting in January, or rather the end of January last year, I started meticulously tracking everything again, because I've got a competition on the horizon again, so I want to control the variables I can control. So January 30th, I started tracking, and I found out that I was really under eating on a lot of my carbs and my fats. I was averaging around like 275 grams of carbs a day at that point, and maxing out at about 80 grams of fat per day, which is not much for a fairly muscular 200-pound person that's training hard, especially given my diet history. Like, I've had some pretty high intakes before, but again, I'm always really training hard, so that kind of skews things a little bit. But I found out that's what I was eating pretty consistently, and I tend to undereat when I'm not tracking. So that's just, again, my own history, my own relationship with food. That's just the tendency I have. But between January 30th and now, I've increased those numbers significantly. I'm averaging like probably 95 to 100 grams of fat a day, and anywhere from like 425 to 475 grams of carbs a day, which again is not realistic for normal people to just think that you can just bam, boost up your carbs, boost up your fats, and you're going to be leaner and you're going to feel great. It's just my circumstances and how it's worked out. But obviously without tracking things, I wouldn't have been able to make those changes. And since I started making those changes, I've had a lot more recovery capacity, a lot more work capacity in the gym. I have gotten leaner, so I definitely was under eating. And because I have some room to grow for this competition, because I weighed in at 201 today, I can weigh up to 205. Why not? I'm gonna try to gain a little bit of weight towards this competition if I can do that. Gain some lean mass. So tracking is very important if you have important goals and you have concrete goals where you can actually quantify the goal, like I want to lift X amount, weigh in at X amount, or cut X amount of weight. Then tracking is pretty invaluable. So that's what I'm doing right now. I won't go into the specifics of what a typical day of eating looks like for me right now. I'll save that for another video. But I'm eating a lot. I'm tracking it every day. I'm happy. I weigh around 200 still. We'll see if I can increase that. But without quantifying those things, it's going to be harder to make progress. And as I said, tracking takes, if it takes 10 minutes a day, you probably need to streamline the process a little bit more. It should be easier than that. So for an investment of 5 minutes a day, you can control a major factor in your own journey. So I highly recommend doing that. Usually when I start with new clients, I have them track just a few days, and it's not unheard of for clients to lose weight on their own, just tracking, like if weight loss is the goal, to lose weight, just tracking on their own for the first time over the first 3 to 7 days without me telling them to do anything, because they just become aware of what they're eating. And it's that reflection or that feedback, whatever it is, it's helpful to have. So I highly recommend it. If you have questions or comments on that, shoot me a message or comment below, and keep your eyes peeled for future vlogs. I'm going to talk a bit more about diet a little later. Going to get into my training plan really soon, and I'll talk to you guys again soon. Hit the like and subscribe, and keep your eyes peeled for the next video.